We left Noah in the ark during a raging storm. All the animals were in there, and all eight of the people were in there. And there was a storm raging all around them. And yet they were safe in the ark because God had told Noah how to build that ark where it was completely safe. Were they comfortable? I don't know. I don't think they were uncomfortable, but nobody likes a storm. And they had never had storms like this before, and it was a raging storm we talked about. Well, after 40 days and 40 nights of terrible, terrible storm noises and who knows what else, how awful it was for them, God remembered Noah and all the living things in that ark. I've got 3 questions for you. Do you think that Noah and his family were praying? Do you think Noah and his family were scared during the storm? I think so. Do you think they were thankful that they had the ark? I think so. I think yes is the answer to all those questions. God promised to save them, and he did. Finally, at the end of 40 days and 40 nights of terrible storm, God caused the storm to end. He caused a great wind to flow across the earth and stop the storm. He stopped the storm with a great wind. And the waters begin to recede. That means to go down. And the waters of the heaven or the sky were stopped. The fountains of the deep that were broken stopped. Then the rain that was falling out of the sky stopped. All the things that were making the storm so terrible were stopped. And the Bible says it took 150 days for the waters to go down and to land the ark on the earth, or on land. It's a better way to put it. And I had forgotten how specific the Bible was about how the storm ended. When I read it again today and yesterday, I read in Genesis 8:4 that the ark rested in the 7th month on the 17th day of the month upon the mountains of Ararat. Now, the mountains of Ararat, if I remember correctly, are in Turkey, the country we call Turkey now. And a lot of people are looking for that ark to show that God was telling the truth in the Bible. But we don't have to see everything to know that God told the truth. We read the words and we believe what the words tell us. And in Genesis 8:5, it says that the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month and the first day of the month were the tops of the mountains seen. So after another month, they could see the tops of the mountain. It didn't happen all at one time, like you take the water out of a bathtub. It took a long time. It took a month. And then after 40 more days, Noah opens a window. The window that we talked about that was a cubit high, Noah opened it. And he sends out a raven. A raven is a bird. I believe it's a black bird. And it flies back and forth, and it can't find a place to land. And then after he sends the raven out, Noah also sends a dove out. And that dove flies around and flies around, and the Bible does say it came back, but it could not find a place to land outside. So there was still water on the ground. So Noah waited and waited. He waits 7 more days, and he sends out the dove again. And the dove flies around until evening of that day, and then it comes back, and guess what it has in its mouth? It has a leaf, an olive leaf. That made Noah so happy. He was happy to see that dove come back, and he was happier to see that olive leaf. To him, that meant that the ground was getting back to normal. It didn't have as much water and mud in places. There was high places that had some ground to grow olive trees. And it's not all the way gone. The water's not all the way gone, but it's going down enough that they will be able to get out pretty soon. They're getting happy and hopeful. They stayed 7 more days. They stayed 7 more days in the safety of the ark. Then finally, it says, and this is the part I'm not real sure about, because it says on the 601st year. Now I'm kind of thinking that's how old Noah was. So he was probably 601 years old. It says on the 601st year, the first month and the first day, Noah took the covering off the roof from the ark. And that way he could look around in all directions, every direction, and he could see dry land everywhere. I think there might have been a mud puddle or two, but I think it was getting dry and ready for people to come out of the ark. But they waited, because you know who they were waiting for? They were waiting for God to tell them when it was time. And on the 2nd month and the 27th day, God told Noah that it was safe to go outside again. Do you think they were happy? I do. I'm sure they were happy that they had been in the ark, but I'm more sure that they were happy to get back outside and see the earth all clean and washed once again. And next story will tell what they did when they went outside and what they saw.